Hi everybody, this is the host, aka Host 1.
And the co-host, aka Host 2 here. Just a few quick words before we jump into the episode.
If you're a new listener, here's how the show works. We typically will spend about 5% of the episode at the beginning and the end talking about a motivational related topic, and then the other 95% of the episode is a ton of comedy in between.
We'd appreciate it if you could please like, subscribe, and share the show with other people. Feel free to leave us a comment wherever you're listening or send an email to facetodaypodcast@gmail.com.
Now, back to the episode. Hello to all our listeners. This is the Host 1.
And this is Host 2.
We're back again with episode 11.
And here we are.
Here we are. We have a title for you today. It's called Shifting Gears. And, I'm gonna. Would my co-host like to explain first, or should I?
I think you should go.
All right, we're gonna be very quick with this today, but I will say that the title of Shifting Gears, in my opinion, means that you need to understand that if you're going through something and you're not completely convinced that it's the right thing to be doing, or you're kind of stuck in a rut, there is always the option of quickly shifting gears. And there is another way. There's not much to this. I don't want you to think too much into this, and I don't want you to think for hours and hours about what this means. It simply means there's always another way.
There's always another way.
There's another way to go about doing what you want to accomplish, and you can shift gears, and you can get there. And whatever that means to you, you can fucking think of it.
Love it, co-host. That's motivating. And we're going to keep the intro short here. And when there's a woods, there is a way, to quote one of our previous episodes. And like you said, shifting gears. If something's not working, you got to try something new. You got to adjust. That's what any famous actor, sports coach, anybody does. If something's not working, you got to adjust and shift gears. Here we go into the episode. We hope you enjoy.
Co-host 2. Mr. Co-host 2.
Yes, sir.
My good buddies. Good buddies.
The good buddies.
He's a good buddy. I have a question for you. Expiration dates.
Ooh.
On bottles and different products that you purchase. Like, to consume. Like, from food, condiments.
Sure. All of it.
Why do they always smear off the bottle?
Smear off.
All right. My point for you,
Yes.
co-host 2. Expiration dates are extremely important because as the consumer, you need to know when what you're consuming expires so it's safe for you, or it's not going to go bad and be terrible to consume.
Absolutely.
My question to you is, why do the dates almost always disappear or erase off of the bottle? You literally cannot see what the date is.
You're right.
When this is probably the most important thing on the whole bottle. I don't give a fuck what the brand name is. The nutrition facts, you can look them up online. You can't look up the expiration dates online.
You cannot.
You can't.
Maybe that's a good business idea. We provide just a database of expiration dates. And you're right. It's the first thing to smear off.
That's actually a good idea. It really is a good idea.
Yeah, why not? But you're right.
Expirationdates.com.
Yeah, there you go. We'll get Chat GPT to do a little compilation
So
of them
basically,
all.
we can just dismiss this whole podcast.
Yeah.
We're going to create expirationdates.com. We're going to get rich as fuck.
And
we don't need this podcast anymore.
Yep. So we'll see you,
We're
listeners.
not really making any money off this podcast as it is, but...
Yep, so you can listen to the past 11 episodes, and then we'll see you from here. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
We're just getting started. But that's a good idea, co-host, and I'm not sure why those dates smear off. So
it truly is. Co-host 2, next question of this podcast 11. Have you ever noticed how strange and awkward the traveling motion and symbol is in basketball?
the
We
referee...
apologize for not having visuals on our podcast, but if you can think in your head, it's like, you're moving your arms around like you're shaking the maramba.
The rumba,
you're doing a little dance like...
Jump in the line, rock your body on time. Okay.
Yeah, rock your body.
Okay, I believe you.
Jordy and Rebecca.
Yeah, Jordy and Rebecca.
Sean Paul. I'm from Jamaica. Jordy and Rebecca.
But it's like a dance. Yeah. It's like what is the double fisting over and over? Yeah, I don't...
Well, that was my question.
Who
have you ever noticed how strange it is?
It's a great question. Is it James Naismith who created that call?
Or was it Bill Woods?
Woods or John Woods. John Woods.
Wasn't John Woods the founder of basketball?
John Wooden. Well, no, I think
Jerry West.
Jerry West and John Wooden and James Naismith. I think there's a couple different names we're throwing around here.
This is good stuff.
This is really good stuff.
Yeah. But what do you think? It's pretty awkward, right?
Yeah.
There's no really reason to it. I don't have a reason to it. And we don't really fact check on this podcast either. So obviously we could like research why that's the symbol for traveling if we really wanted to. But I don't know off the top of my mind. I have no idea.
I mean, I guess you can make the argument that like it's a symbol for you make two fists and then roll them around each other like it's continuous motion without dribbling, and that's what traveling is. But obviously, if you didn't know basketball at all and you watched the referee do that, you would have no idea what that means.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Next question for you, co-host. What do you think in the workplace, and this doesn't necessarily have to happen in your workplace, but it's just in general, when people refer to their team managers or the VPs or the the CEOs, CIOs as their leaders?
Leaders.
This happens all the time for me. I see people being like, "You're a great leader," or they get promoted and they're like, "You're going to be the best leader."
The leader of the organization.
Are we in a tribe in the middle of the Eskimo villages? Yeah. This is a workplace, goddammit.
Yeah. What is leader? Yeah, why?
I don't know.
Why is it such a corporate?
You're a manager.
It's a corporate buzzword.
You're a vice president. You're a manager. You're not a leader.
You're not a leader. I mean, you're leading the team. But it's not a leader of a tribe. I think that's a great analogy. It's to show the difference.
I mean, this leads into my next question in a way. It has to do with LinkedIn because LinkedIn is one of our favorite topics on this podcast.
Yes.
Hopefully you've been a listener for a while now and you know. But if you don't know, we like to talk about LinkedIn, and we're gonna eventually have an episode that's dedicated completely to LinkedIn. But LinkedIn. Aside from being a leader, what do you think about people who put working on something new in their LinkedIn title as like their job title?
Oh, is there a job title or is it a post?
I've seen so many people. No, it's not in the post. It's like it could be a title of their current job, or it could be like in their bio. It just simply says working on something new. They think they're so fucking great. They think they are gods. These people think they're gods.
Oh, that's terrible.
You've never seen this?
But that's not a legitimate position. How can they do that?
Yeah, but the egos and like they think that they're in the position and the power to write that, and that everyone is going to like look at that and be like, oh,
he's working on something. She's working on something big in the works.
Like we're not going to even question that because they're working on something new.
Oh. And super secret though.
It has to be legit. It has to be real legit.
Yeah, if he's putting that on
if it, you don't even want to question it because it's new.
It's brand
new.
They're
working on it.
Brand fucking new.
Yeah, and it's it must be top secret, and it must be so legit that they can't even write what it is.
Wow.
But it's new, and it's something they're working on.
Yeah. Who are these people? Who has the nerve to do this? Cole, real quick, that reminds me of another thing we talked about in another episode about how people will be leaving a company and they'll write about a paragraph or two about how great the company was, and at the very end they'll be, and I'm leaving the company tomorrow.
Yeah. We've gone into that. We've gone into that
one, yeah. And I was talking about with a friend the other day. That's just another great point.
Yeah,
the obnoxiousness.
Best company ever. I love this company. It's helped me so much. It's my favorite place in the world to work. I love coming here every day.
I love it.
Everyone I work with is amazing. The product, the platform. Every customer I talk to loves it. It's just the best place ever to work.
Yes.
On that note, I will be leaving next week for this company, and I would like to thank this person, and that person. Goodbye.
And goodbye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. In every sense of the word.
All right. Next question for you, co-host.
Yeah, and we will have a LinkedIn podcast coming up because we could go on for many, many hours about this.
Why do you think Peter Pan peanut butter became a thing?
Thought you were going to say something else there.
Okay, there's a lot of different peanut butters out there.
There are.
And there's a lot of good peanut butters out there. There's a lot like Jif.
Well, Jif? Isn't that the Peter Pan one?
That's why I have you as my co-host. I don't know. You could be right.
I think Jif was at one point sponsored, or they did the Peter Pan one. It wasn't Skippy.
But why is Peter Pan associated with peanut butter? Because the Peter, and the peanut butter.
I mean,
or is it just because If it's not that, then what is it? Tell me.
That's one of the best questions I think you've asked on this podcast, and I have no idea.
I asked the good questions.
Yes.
This is a serious question.
Why
is Peter Pan attached to peanut butter?
A different word keeps almost coming out, but we're catching it here.
Yeah.
And I don't know. What is maybe okay? My only take on this would be because it's like you eat peanut butter and jelly when you're a kid, and so you never I won't grow up, that type of thing.
Yes.
So
but don't you think peanut butter has been too closely attached to jelly in an unfair way?
An unfair way.
Because the companies, they market peanut butter and jelly. They want you to buy the products to make a peanut butter and jelly. Yeah. The peanut butter should not always be looped in with jelly.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
It's unfair to peanut butter. It's also unfair to jelly.
Yes, it's unfair to both. And why was Peter Pan a part of that for so long?
I don't know. Peter Pan had all I can think about is his nose kept growing.
Yeah, well, that's Pinocchio. You got two different... This has been the funniest topic that I think we've ever done.
You're right, Pinocchio.
Yes, but
Wait,
still,
what did Peter Pan do? He flew around in a little hat.
Yes, with the Lost Boys and Hook.
Right.
And Hook.
That's true. He had a little hat on.
Little hat and the green. He was all green. And
right.
Robin Williams played him in a movie.
Robin Williams before he went mad.
But they're both Disney though, so you're on the right.
Yeah. Peter Pan, man, what a guy!
What a guy! And why was he on peanut butter? We
don't know.
We may never know.
All right, this leads into my next question, Carlos. The Target store, the Target sign. You know when you're like, Target, the brand. Obviously,
yes.
Everyone knows Target,
Everyone
the brand.
Knows
the Target brand, the sign, the little Target sign.
Sure.
Why is it always visible from so far away?
Yeah.
On these buildings.
Yes.
The easy answer is, and I think this honestly, I'm not trying to be funny with this, is because when they construct the buildings, they purposefully put the symbols, like the brand symbols, like in a location where you can see them from far away. And they purposely do that because they know you can see them far away.
Yes.
But like, isn't it kind of crazy the fact that the target is a symbol where you can shoot at it or something, and it's like from far away.
Yes.
And it's kind of crazy, miles and miles down the road.
Yes. And
you can you see it and you want to shoot it or something.
I mean, and I think to your point, Target sign, more than any other retail or even fast food chain, you can see it from so far. That's a great point.
Have you been inside of a Target recently, Carlos?
It's been maybe the last couple months.
I want to say something about Target because I live very close to one.
Yes.
I go in there a good amount.
Okay.
They have very, very, very strange photos of their models in there.
Oh,
like their clothing. I don't even know if they're considered clothing models or Target is clearly a very woke and up to date, shall we say? We shouldn't say woke in this podcast. We say
progressive,
which is up into the thick of the society.
Yes, absolutely. And
they make it very, 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 very clear that when you walk into Target, you are going to see a photo and a face and an image of every single representation you can think of.
Every single goddamn
They
one.
have white people with dark skin people with white skin, Asian people with black skin with Indian people with freckles with different Asian arithmetics, and then different islands of different arithmetics of Asians with different Greenland features, of different Denmark features, of different Americans with white and black and pink, some people with pink hair, some people with green hair, some people with different African American, Icelandic,
world,
Madagascarian, Asian, Australian, New Zealand skin.
Lord. How and why?
Because Target is hip.
They're hip. They're
and
cool.
They know what's good.
They know what's good, and I think we might just want to leave that right there.
All right, co-host. What do you think about people who type in all caps locks for no reason and act like it's normal?
Oh, well.
Have you ever had that happen to you?
Yes, but not on Slack. Slack's a whole other thing.
What about through text?
Well, texting,
or through the dating apps,
because
does you think it's someone screaming at you?
Is it someone screaming? I think it definitely does.
What if they just have caps locks on?
Well, yes. Here's the thing. If someone does, this is what I've noticed, even on Twitter too. If someone's always doing the caps locks, after a while, it becomes normal and it stops. If it's the same person doing it and they do it so often, it stops becoming like they're yelling, right? you actually become desensitized if it's the same person and you know to expect it. Then it just kind of becomes funny. But if it's happening, if someone randomly does it who never types like that, then that's a mind fuck.
That's a great response. And do you usually think it's someone screaming at you though?
Sure. But there was a Twitter account that used to be funny. It was called Caps Locks Hustler, and he would always do caps locks, and you knew that it was just part of his shtick. So, but otherwise, yes, you're right.
Yeah,
It is
there's
yelling.
no-
It is definitely yelling though. Otherwise,
And what do you think happened to Sean Kingston?
Sean Kingston, the rapper.
Do you remember Sean Kingston?
Well, I can only think of Sean Paul.
Somebody call 911. Shorty's fire burning on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Was he
that guy.
was he Jamaican?
I think he was fake Jamaican.
Oh, was he?
I think his parents are from Jamaica, but he was born in like Miami, so he was like
Yeah. What?
like
You tell me.
one boy like.
What happened to him? Where did he go? Is he alive?
Well, these are why I ask the questions on the podcast, co-host. I don't know what happened to him, so I'm asking you.
We need a listener to call in. Maybe
I would love to know because he was huge for a while, literally huge. His body.
Oh, his body.
But
He's a big dude.
he got very big, and
Big man.
He popularity wise too. He got very big and popular. He had a lot of good songs, and he had a lot of good hits. I don't know what happened to him. I was thinking about it the other day, and I just wanted to ask you. But I think he might have gotten in a boating accident.
Oh, no. I think he did get in a boating accident, and he might have just got flung off the boat.
Could be. But this leads into my next question, co-host.
Okay.
Tim Robbins.
Oh, yes.
The actor.
The actor.
Have you ever noticed that he's always just taking very slow walks in every movie he's in?
Every movie. I think, yes. Mystic River.
There's others though.
Others. Many. Well, you've
Every
seen more of his movies
movie
than
that
me.
Tim Robbins is in, at some point in the movie, he's just slowly walking, and there's either dialogue going on, like from a narrative perspective, or he's talking.
Yes. Well, and
He's had an interesting
what movies
career.
of his come to mind that you think of? And also, is he still in movies? Does he still ever act in
I
movies?
don't know. When I first think of Tim Robbins, I think of Susan Sarandon because I think they
of
might be a
course.
pair. I think of The Shawshank Redemption because it's a classic, one
Oh,
of the best
that's
movies
the best
of all
movie,
time.
Of course. I forget he was Andy.
Mystic River.
Andy
He was in this
Dufresne,
like
dude.
show with Jack Black on HBO. It was like some stupid ass show. I never watched it, but I always see it like
Sure,
advertised.
Sure.
What about you? What do you think about Tim Robbins?
Well, I forgot he was in Shawshank Redemption, and that's by far
One of the best movies
one of
ever.
the best movies ever, if not the best movie ever, and book too. Well, it's a short story by Stephen King, but
Was it?
Yes, and that's what it's based off of. But yes, he always is walking so slow. Very
Well,
contemplative.
he's just always walking in movies.
Contemplative. Anyway, I wonder if he'll resurface or if he's
Okay, on the
maybe-
topic of movies, I have a question for you, co-host.
Okay.
Every movie. What was that? Did you hear a gunshot outside?
I think
co-host?
we heard a gunshot. It definitely wasn't thunder.
The co-host and I have heard a gunshot,
We heard a 12-barrel shotgun.
but
No.
we're so dedicated to this podcast, we're going to keep it
We're
going.
gonna keep going. We're gonna keep trucking.
All right. Have you ever noticed that every movie in the '90s just had people standing around command centers?
Yeah, right? There were so many. Yeah, why? The Hunt for Red October. Just so many command centers.
And it doesn't happen anymore, rarely, but like every movie in the '90s, I feel like it would have a lot of action, and then half the movie was just it just showed the command center and
Yeah.
everyone standing around. There was always a leader. Of course, there was
Yes.
always a leader that was like, and there would be like a bunch of random
Yes.
workers on the phones
Well,
and computers that would be
yes.
like go to the left.
And
then
sometimes the command center would be the president of the United States with like
Right.
over a button. Even that
there'd be
too.
a huge screen in the front.
Huge screen. Yeah. Are you gonna press the button? Launch the
Yeah.
nukes. Launch the nukes.
So what happened to command centers in movies?
Well, maybe that was a little bit part of like the fallout of the Cold War from the '80s, and they were so used to like somebody just being around these like this war of Russia and being like, let's press the button. And you're right, it kind of died off. You don't see the command
Yeah, you don't
center.
see it as much anymore. It's a shame because I feel like there was a good grouping and like kind of family environment in some of these
Yes.
movies because of that. And then like when at the end of the movie when there would be like everyone would like celebrate together because there was always a good feel good type
Feel-good
story.
moment, yeah.
And then the whole command center would be like yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like in Apollo,
Apollo 13.
Exactly.
I knew you were gonna say it.
Even
Well, that
like
NASA, NASA's its own thing, for sure.
some of these other
yes.
movies like. All the 1990s movies were
Yes.
just filled with this, and
Filled
it
with
was
it.
just constantly
Are you sir?
You know,
sir, what's going on?
"Sir, he's landed. He's landed the mission.
Landed the mission.
The mission is over."
Independence Day, Black Hawk Down, Mars Attacks, all these movies, just like so many command centers, or the president.
And then this is going to lead into our next question. This might be a little off topic from what we were just talking about, co-host, with 90s movies, but alcoholics,
Anonymous.
when they're around hand sanitizers and mouthwash, what happens?
Well,
This is just, I'm sure you could this is Google, you could Google this, there's things would come up, but I just want to know from my co-host, what do you think?
oh, I see what you're saying, because those things have alcohol in
Right.
them.
And they're easily, you don't have to have you can easily just go get them. So why are they not, is this like a part of AA or what goes on?
Well, that's a great question. You have to be a true fucking junkie to want to get drunk on those things.
But even if you're not, if you're abstaining from all other types of alcohol, but you use mouthwash in the morning and you use hand sanitizer all day, does that affect your anti-alcohol?
It does. That's a great question. I don't know. Same with kombucha.
Yes, thank you for saying it's a good question.
I know. I'm sorry.
This is why I ask these things.
I say
because they're good questions.
That was early,
Yes.
early when we started this podcast.
Yes.
I would say that after every question, I'd be like, "Oh, good question, host."
Right.
But this is truly.
These are asked because I'm literally we're wondering the answers.
Well, sure. And to be honest, all you ask, every question you ask is mind thought provoking.
Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah, and I just want to get that out.
Yeah.
But the very fact that somebody might drink, Listerine or use hand sanitizer, or even what's the third thing that I'm thinking of that has alcohol in it? That
Pina colada
or kombucha. Kombucha's got trace amounts. Again, these are all
but
things.
Kombucha you drink.
You drink.
It's different than you don't drink hand sanitizer or mouthwash.
Well, okay. Well, then that's a good point. Well, so let's say you swish around some mouthwash. Does it enter your bloodstream?
I don't know.
But
even if you spray hand sanitizer all over your hand, that alcohol scent is strong, and it's if you're an addict, that's just in your face, and you smell that alcohol. It's confusing me. I don't think we need to continue on this topic. I'm just wondering.
It's a great question. I mean, is it more? So you're asking, does it trigger you, or does it count as getting drunk?
I don't know. But co-host, I have a next question for you.
Let's go.
Vending machines.
Oh, okay.
I know we discussed gumball machines back in the day on this podcast, where it was. If you haven't heard the episode with the gumball machines, I would encourage you to go back and listen to that episode. I don't know what it was on, but we discussed gumball machines in great detail.
Yes.
However, my question for you today, co-host, do you find vending machines annoying that have literally every single option that you can select in the, B6, B7, B8, A5, A2, is all the same item?
That's not real.
There's many vending machines where it's all stacked up with almost the exact same thing, and you have to go on the pressing thing and press which one to press, and you're literally going to get the same thing.
You know what? We really need a Twitter page.
My question for you is literally, does that bother you? Does that bother you at all?
Well, I'm trying to think. I can think of a vending
You're
machine
a vending
that has a
machine.
couple of duplicate items.
Have different items in the vending machine.
Well, what's an
Stack
example?
it up with different things, goddammit. Don't put the fucking same thing in the vending machine in every fucking aisle.
Yes, I get it, co-host. But rarely do vending machines have only one or two items. They usually have a variety.
I've seen a lot with the same.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, we need a Twitter page to show a photo, because I need a visual reference here.
Okay.
But I believe you though. I know what you're talking about. I do agree.
It infuriates me because if I was in the vending machine business, one of my primary goals would be variety and options.
Yes, of course.
You walk up to a vending machine, you want to have the options. You don't want to fucking have the same thing in your face and then be prompt to press A1 or F2 to fucking you want to. Well, just the same thing.
Yeah, and this is a little bit different than what you're saying, but this is like when Toy Story, when the claw, all those aliens where the claw comes down and pulls out that toy, and it's all the same fucking thing, and the claw. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so,
yes.
it's that type of deal. Change the products up. Offer something different. Anyway.
It's so true. Have you never seen a vending machine like that before?
I have, but usually it's 2 to 3 candies or something, or chips. But multiple of the same. I know what you're saying.
Co-host, why are Subway commercials so uncreative?
Oh, the worst. The Subway commercials are the worst.
They're so uncreative. And they always have so many celebrities in them.
Yeah. Steph Curry. I
It's
feel
not
like
even just Steph. It's Steph Curry. Yeah. Well, Steph Curry is a whole another topic. We can get into him. He's talk about selling yourself out.
selling
Jesus
to
Christ,
the fucking
dude.
devil
Oh
himself.
my God, he literally
Jesus.
is. He endorses. He's worse than LeBron. He
is.
endorses every product he can.
Yes, or
And
Charles
he's-
Barkley.
Yeah, like shave your face, bro.
Yeah.
What? You got that weird looking beard on your face, like
half beard.
Like, yo, I'm not hating on your game, not hating on your success.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
but
no, this is business.
cut that fucking
Business
weird
acumen.
ass, puffy ass beard off your face.
Yeah, cut that shit,
You
dog.
look weird, bro.
I know.
Endorsing everything from fucking I don't even know, Subway to CarMax to
yeah, he's worse than Shaq.
crypto companies to
the General.
General. He and literally Steph Curry is behind so many. It's kind of sickening.
It's kind of sickening. Like how many hundreds of millions of
Well,
dollars?
honestly, it's
do you
more.
need?
It's more sickening the companies that just blatantly just hire.
Yeah.
If you're a company and you're not even doing your due diligence to see how many brands this guy's endorsing, it's your fault.
Yeah.
So to be honest,
that's-
I don't blame Steph Curry. I know we're hating on him now. But
I mean,
get your money, bro.
But yeah, get your money. I agree, but I have this issue.
It does come. Sorry, I want to say one more. It does before my co-host. It does come to a point where yes, get your money, but have some self-awareness. Like, you know, you have to have some shame at some point. You can't just endorse everything.
You cannot.
Do you not have enough money?
Agreed.
What's your basketball salary? Like, dude, you're making $200 million.
Exactly.
Your contract in basketball.
How can
you need to endorse everything still? Come on, man.
Everything.
All right, go ahead.
No, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
It's where does it become, being shrewd and a good businessman, and then are you being greedy motherfucker? And I had this issue with golfers and all athletes, superstar athletes. If you're people that endorse anything and everything like Steph without any regard to how it's affecting society or local people or the middle class, then they can get fucked. If you're not taking that into account, or you just don't give a fuck. Like if you're just a ruthless motherfucker, then fine. But
I think this ties into all of our talks on this. I don't actually know if we've dived deep into this topic yet, because the co-host and I have had many private conversations on this topic. But the concept of celebrities being too famous,
yes,
and being so out of touch because they're so famous.
Yep.
But I think Steph is a perfect example of that because he's too famous.
Yep.
He literally can't go anywhere in public without someone recognizing him or just going crazy or just being like, "You're the best basketball player ever." Oh my god, like blah blah blah. I need a picture. Blah 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 blah. But I think that ties into his wanting. He just endorses everything because he's so out of touch.
Absolutely. Out
These
of touch.
people get so famous that they get so out of touch.
Yeah, and this brings up. I mean, some people are just so impressed by athletes, even more than celebrities. But that they're even more out of touch for that reason.
But just imagine someone like Steph Curry. He's had so much success in the athletic world. Any single place he goes, he is just people go crazy.
And their egos are too big for this planet.
Like he can't do anything. He can't go anywhere. Everyone's just like, "You're
course.
Steph Curry."
But
like
just-
you're the best basketball player ever. You're amazing.
Yeah.
What if every single place you co-host you went, someone did that to you?
Well, I think you and I, coming from humble beginnings, would have a better head on our shoulders.
Do you know what this leads me to say? We are in the prime spot to get celebrity guests on this podcast.
Yes,
So we can
we are.
actually ask them straight up what it's like.
We should. Let's get a celebrity.
I'm being real. I would love to have some interviews with celebrity guests and actually have some real conversations because we talk a lot of shit. We make a lot of assumptions. We say things in this podcast, but we want to know what the real story is.
We do. And there's a couple well-known people. Maybe they're more founders of companies or CEOs that we could get on this podcast. We did have a special guest host in our last one, and we hope you liked him because he is very well-known now, and for all we know, he could be an A-list superstar sometime in the near future, but we should get a couple. We need some celebrities, and we should pick their brain a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And co-host,
Hey.
we're gonna wrap this up pretty soon. We're actually, to all of our listeners out there, we're gonna try to keep our episodes around the half an hour mark, I would say.
Yes.
If we can.
If we
You don't hold us to it if we go over, but our goal is to make it around the half an hour mark because we're also listeners ourselves. We're avid listeners to other stuff ourselves, and when we see stuff that's like 3 hours long, 2 hours, we don't want to fucking listen to that shit.
Yeah, that's too long.
It's too much. So we're gonna try to keep it around the half hour mark. And
Absolutely.
my question to you, co-host. we're a little past COVID. We're a little past masks.
Thank God.
And it's interesting if you listen back into our podcast. Like we recorded a lot of our episodes during the COVID days. So like we were in the thick of it, and we talked about masks and COVID a lot. But my question to you is, what if nowadays in the stage we're in with COVID and everything in society, if a basketball player wanted to wear a mask the entire game, every single game of the season, like, okay, first of all, why isn't that happening more often? Because you never see it. It's not happening at all.
Yeah.
But what if that were to be the case? Do you think there would be any issue with that?
If a basketball player wanted to wear a mask during a game?
Yes, if a basketball player because during the COVID days, obviously that would have been. It wouldn't have even like. No one even would have thought for more than a second. But nowadays, if a basketball player was like, "I want to wear a mask every single game," what do you think would be like the response?
Oh, I think they would be booed.
Do you think they would like allow it? They would have to allow it because like it's it's not like getting in the way of the game really.
It'd be kind of hilarious. Like imagine what if they wore goggles too, and like how intimidating would it be if a player wore goggles and a mask?
Like Rip Hamilton.
Yeah. Like Rip Hamilton.
He wore the huge mask.
Yeah, the huge mask.
And he also had a mask on his mouth.
Dude, that's like,
But he was just like killing it. Just like putting up like 40 a game.
Yeah, and those Pistons won a fucking championship.
Rip Hamilton was sick.
Dude, I'm telling you, that would be so intimidating. Fuck yeah.
You support the face mask and the COVID mask.
And the COVID mask, yes.
Oh my God, someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to do that.
Someone's got to rock both of them.
Yeah.
But it can only be a good player because they have to put up like 50 a game.
Yeah, they have to be like just intimidating. And like you don't even know what their face looks like. I'm surprised. That's the thing about NBA players. Again, talking about big egos and making money, their faces are so marketable. Unlike NFL players, NFL players have helmets, so you can't see their faces. But the NBA players love to market themselves, and so they have to. That makes Rip Hamilton even more legit.
But that's why it's a good. I just thought it was like really interesting.
Yeah.
This isn't related to COVID and mask, but like the press conferences are so important for NFL players.
Yes.
Because you don't know what they look like in the field.
Yep.
But the press conferences, like Aaron Rodgers, if Aaron Rodgers wasn't doing the whole like press conference and like featuring in certain podcasts and stuff, you would have no idea what he looks like. Yeah.
Agreed. And you know what? To be fair, even the quarterbacks on the sidelines get more camera time.
True, yeah.
But you're right. They would. I mean, people wouldn't know what. Rodgers and Brady maybe are exceptions. But you're right. A lot of quarterbacks probably don't. But of all the players, they do get the most face time on the sidelines.
Rodgers is a bad example.
But you're right. Especially
he pushes himself.
Any defensive player giving a press conference, huge for them. Yeah. Even an all-star, all-pro defensive player needs that press conference.
Great point. Yeah, it really is a great point.
Yeah, it was a great point by you, co-host.
All right, listeners. We want to thank you so much for listening to our podcast, Face the Day podcast.
Yes, Face the Day, the J.
We just want to make one mention that we love the day, and our podcast is currently called Face the Day, but we also respect the night.
We respect the night, and sometimes you must also face the night.
You have to face the night as well as the day, and they're both equally as important. And at some point, to my great co-host here, I would love it if we could even change the name of this podcast in a way to include the night, because they're both so important to me, especially and I don't want I have a problem with the fact that day is the only thing in the name of our podcast. I would love it to be like Face the Day and Night or just something.
Yes,
because I love them. They're the whole 24 hours of a cycle of a day and a night is so important to me, and I know a lot of other people out there. I don't want to even it's everything's important. So,
everything's important, and the whole 24 hours and facing life is important.
Yes.
I think that's the point that you're trying to make.
It's like I don't want it to be wake up in the morning, you face the day, and then the end of the day, it's just like you tone down. Like my intention for this podcast is obviously the comedic aspect, but also like the motivational aspect is you have 24 hours a day. There's so much to it, and there's a lot of motivation that we can give to you, and it applies to all that.
It applies to all that, and to bring it full circle here, and this got me thinking what you just said, co-host, about shifting gears, the initial theme of this episode.
Yes,
because that's exactly what we mean. You face the day, and then you shift a gear, and then you face the night.
shifting gears is so important. I'm an avid bike rider myself, and one of the biggest things about bikes are the gears on the bikes. And actually, it can make or break a bike trip that you're on if you go from one gear to the next because you're riding so smoothly on one, then you shift to the next one, and you have a more aggressive stride. And
absolutely, you go faster. You go faster. You work harder, but you go faster.
It's all about just, if you're in a lane in life, you can shift gears quickly and you can change things, and things will be different. Just shake things up a bit.
Shake things up.
Keep things interesting.
Yes. Well said, co-host.
Yeah.
Yes. To all our listeners, we think this was a hilarious episode, and we hope you do too.
This was episode 11 of the Face the Day podcast.
Yes, sir.
My co-host and I are out. We wish everyone from Madagascar to England to Sri Lanka to Mongolia.
Oh, yes. Mongolia.
To Russia.
All over.
To Canada. To Overland Park, Kansas. To
Chicago,
Illinois. To San Diego, California. To
Tampa Bay, Florida.
To England. To Brazil.
And all over.
Good night.
Everywhere.
We wish you all a good night, and we love you all. Good night.